Hey guys, so today we're going to talk about upgrades. So, upgrades that are necessities, upgrades that maybe it'll help the car handle better or driver preference, and ones that just simply look cool. So, first and foremost, you have to know what can you upgrade. So, I have here two cars, both are MR03s and two different classes. The one on the left is a stock car for my local racetrack, and on the right is a touring car for my local racetrack. As you can see here, the exact same car that came in the kit, but there are differences. For example, you have the damper setup, the diff setup, aluminum top arms, the rear pods. Now, for the box stock in my local racetrack, you are allowed to upgrade to springs, T-plate, you're allowed to put bearings in, and that's it. In the stock touring, you're pretty much allowed free reign for the kit. It just has to be a PN70 motor and it has to run on AAA batteries. Alright, so first and foremost, let's talk about the one thing that doesn't come in the kit, and that's batteries. So you'll see here on the far left that you have your normal grocery store AAA batteries. These will work, and they will make the car move. Basically, they're not going to be great for racing, but if you're the normal hobbyist who just wants to boot around the kitchen floor or whatever, those are a great option. Now, as you see here, I have two more batteries. So I have the 900 high volt from Orion, and I have the 750 HPs from PN Racing. Now, personal preference, I like the 900 Orions to the 750s, but the 750s do have a little bit more punch than the 900s, but the run time will be longer with the 900s. This is where now we're going to talk about cost for these three. The grocery store batteries are about, for the set of four, you'll find a set of four for a couple of dollars. The Orions are about $10 for four, and those are about $20 for the 750s from PN Racing. Now, I personally use the Orion 4-pack, and I just, as you can see here, I label 1-1. As you can see here, I have multiple packs, so 5, and they're all labeled with 5s on them, 3s, and they're all labeled with 3s on them. Now I do this just so that way I can keep track of what cycles. So for example, the first time I'll use 1, and the next time I'll use 2, all the way I have 5 packs, so I'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, start back at 1. This way every one of them is essentially equal. I'm not using one stack of batteries more than the other one. I do use just the regular grocery store batteries in the controller, and I still am using the box controllers, but I know there are controllers available for the Mini Z, and they also have other receivers that you can mount into your Mini Z. The next upgrade is essentially a free upgrade that you can do, and I found it a very, very drastic change when I did it, and that is the Kingpin Flip. And essentially what it does is you take the Kingpin, so this part right here, it usually goes on the bottom, and you basically take it out and flip it. So you have full range of motion of the upper arm. Now, there is nothing that you need to buy to do this. It is essentially a free kit or a free upgrade that you can do with your kit, and it drastically changes the handling for the better. I do have a video that I'll link in the description, and you can see how I do. Another huge upgrade is tires and wheels. So wheels, not necessarily as much of a upgrade as the tires are, but the tires that come in the kit, they're good for rolling around on your kitchen floor, your living room floor, and they will last forever. Keep in mind that if you do use these ones, they are not taped. You will have to tape them if you ever decide to use them for more than just bashing around your living room floor. I don't even touch those. I give them away to people who use them, and that's pretty much it. For the box stock, I usually stick with Kyosho. The good thing with Kyosho is you can actually tell what they are. So there's a 20, and there is a 30. And they do that for pretty much all their tires. Majority of them are the rears. For the ones that aren't, for example, Marca or PN Racing, what I like to do is I like to mount them, put them back in the bag, and I like to rip off the little label so that way you can see what tire they are, because as you can see here, doesn't really say anything what tire it is or anything like that. So just one way to keep organized, that way you know. Another big upgrade is springs, especially in the front. Now there are two different sets here. There is the PN Racing one, and there is the Kyosho kit that comes with a little bit of everything that helps you basically modify your car. These are the box stock springs, the ones that come in the kit. You'll see here that you have green, orange, yellow, red, magenta, dark purple, and light purple. Here I have my toolbox, and all I did was simply tape up the spring chart to tell me which direction I'm going if I'm changing. Now this does change to track or layout to layout. All right, let's talk T-plates. These are what comes in the kit. You'll see here, for example, I'm running the the mid motor. This one is for the rear motor. You'll see here on the stock chassis, it says rear motor. Same. I don't use that one. So I basically bounce between these three. The box stock pretty much always gets a PN number 5 for my personal track. The stock touring, I bounce between the PN4 and the Kyosho 6H. Or 9H9, sorry. This is the one that comes in the little kit that Kyosho sells, along with I believe it's 2 different sets of springs, and it comes with 2 sets of rear tires, 1 set of front tires, and I believe that's all it comes with. It will get you up and running. But for more adjustability, you just go when you buy, for example, the carbon ones, and there are more available ones of this type. All right. Let's talk wheel nuts. Here we have the plastic one that comes in the kit. I don't even think I've ever used them. Here you have 2 different types. This is an old one, and you have Kyosho and PN Racing, for example. I have those 2. There are other companies that sell wheel nuts. I don't find a difference between Kyosho or PN Racing. They're both the same millimeter. They both have the nylon luck. They both work awesome, but they work a million times better than the plastic ones when you're taking the tires on and off constantly. All right. Tools. There are tools. You will be able to spend hundreds and hundreds of dollars of tools get whatever tool you want. This, just a genuine Mastercraft Phillips head screwdriver. This will work perfectly fine. You do not need to go out and buy the Kyosho Mini Z package. You do not need to. Although, as always, they are nice to have. For example, the wheel nut wrench. will work perfectly fine to get your wheel nuts on and off. This will also work perfectly fine to get your wheel nuts on and off. But this is made of plastic. It will wear out when eventually, and it does get hard to use sometimes. The Mini Z by Kyosho one will not wear out. It is metal, feels good in the hand, and it is really nice and easy to get the wheel nuts on and off. As you can see, the Mini Z wheel nut set, I am missing one. It's just in the toolbox, but it is a nice carrying case. It is a good investment, but you don't necessarily need it. Hobby knife, always need it no matter what. You need a good hex bit for your set screws. You need pliers, always good to have. Tweezers, they are a lifesaver. I like to carry paintbrush just to brush off the cars, and one huge thing is a Dremel and a little Dremeling kit. Makes doing bodies and all the little sanding things a million times better. Now, bodies. The Corvette ZR1, it's a great body. I have here two Audi R8 ones. One is the R8 LMS, one's the LMS 2015. Both really good bodies. Here I have the NSX. I personally don't like the body. I don't like the fins. I ended up buzzing them off. I kept getting stuck in the boards with them. The rear end, you'll see how much longer it is. There is a pendulum effect. You will notice that with the bigger bodies. You'll see how all these ones, they have short, stubby rear ends. It means that the rear end won't necessarily have as much weight on it, and it will not keep turning and over rotate. Now you will also see the difference in front ends. So the ZR1, it's got a shorter nose than the Audi R8 and the NSX. Now, this will also have an effect because it will do the exact same thing. It longer the nose, the more weight, and the more that the front end will push down. So you will have more of a pivoting. So here, and it'll pivot there more. Where on, for example, the NSX, it'll pivot more here. Now, one thing I have been trying to do is play with taking the wings on and off. For example, this is my box stock body right now, and the wing I found doing absolutely nothing. The speeds aren't great enough. It was adding weight. I just took it off and never looked back. The ZR1 is a great body. This is one of my favorite bodies. I like the characteristics of it. It just, for our track right now, it's more liking the R8 just because of the point shoot. Allows the rear end to rotate a little bit more and go. Corvette body, always a good, safe body. R8, good, safe body. NSX body is a good body, but you have to be driving the car well. You can't just run it like how you would normally. This one will over rotate the rear end. Chargers. I have two Sky NC 2600s. I love these. They're Bluetooth. They fit AA and AAA. They fit right in my box. I have them just hardwired in to a power bar in the back, they're a great buy. They're about $100 each, and I would not ever exchange these. I love these things. That is pretty much everything you need to go racing for a box stock type setup. Now when you get into the more faster touring cars, you're going to want the ball diff. You're going to want the rear end. You're going to want the damper plate. Now, the aluminum iron, not performance at all. Strictly durability. The upper strut, people have them, people don't. I haven't tried it yet. I will be soon. And I will let you guys know if it is a must-have or a not must-have. One thing that's not necessarily a necessity to go racing, but it is really nice to have, is spare parts. Here's another spare diff. There is another spare MPN70, stock Kyosho, a bunch of random top plates, more screw stuff, different motor setups. Always great to have. And you got Ackerman plates. These are the adjustable ones, so you'll have 0, 2 is in the car now, 4, 6, 2, -2, and knuckles. These things do break right here. And another thing that happens is the axle will actually strip out. What I like to do is I like to take a little Dabastier and just go around here, and it'll actually help withstand spinning this. Alright, there you have some upgrades that are necessarily a must-have and some upgrades that are just nice to have.